Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at a Kelly deck that I put together for 10.4. Now it's been a couple patches since I've played Kelly. I think it probably would have been since 10.2, and my opinion on the archetype did change since then. So before I thought single Kelly was the way. It's how I like to play it. It's how I actually felt was stronger, because there was a lot of ways that you can really mess up Witch's Sabbath, right? And you could pull back a lot of their good cards as well, and it didn't seem worth it to me. But in the fast meta right now, that has so much control and so many effective ways to deal with things like the Defender and all of our engines, it just feels like an absolute requirement to have one last crack at it, because if the opponent goes and they remove everything once, chances are they don't have the tools necessary to do it again in the same round. So that's basically the way I look at it. Now, in the previous version, I would have definitely had like an Imler's Wrath. Maybe I would have went with a Nithrall. I think that's really good to help chip things down for Kelly and remove what we want to do there. And, you know, some stuff like that. Some of the new cards that I thought about including that I didn't include were Erendite, because we have a lot of tempo, and it just feels like we can get some pretty good value off this card, and we can even boost our own cards at the same time. So that was definitely a consideration, but I felt like Heatwave was just safer overall. And then, in addition to that, I thought it would be really cool to maybe play Lady of the Lake. But it just didn't feel like it was worth it here, because playing Echo would be great, but not just for Oniro. It would have to be Oniro and Erendite, then we play this, because, you know, we have two Echoes. So instead of this, I opted to go for Arcane Tome, because it allows us to pull into the key, you know, special cards that we need, right? Maybe we need that Oniro for one of the key combo pieces. Maybe we need Witch's Sabbath because we need to bring everything back because we played everything of value early on. Maybe we need that Heatwave to banish the scenario, right? Their only answer to our whole play could be what we can just take out with the Heatwave, right? So stuff like that. Could be even round one, we go for a Spores late round to take away the Ring of Favor boost. Like, there's tons of stuff. They're chipping down Siri, we can go and we can ditch for a Pact, or a Swallow, or a Hideous Feast, like these types of things, and we can get that boost to keep her alive. So you get the idea with the Arcane Tome, just kind of a big deal for it there. But we'll go through the overall deck and strategy here. So we have Oniromancy that's going to help us pull the cards that we need. As I mentioned, we have some key combo pieces that we need. Otherwise, we just won't win the game. So I don't feel like you want to substitute Oniro for anything else. I wouldn't put a Naglfar or Royal Decree. I just think that they're not going to be as consistent as they need to be to make it work. Kelly's the center point of the deck. Melee, every ally turn on turn end, destroy the lowest unit on the side with the most units. So we have the bare minimum amount of units that you can have in a deck being 13. So we're trying to create contrast on our side of the board and their side of the board, right? Preferably they have more units than we do, so we could start burning through theirs at the end of every turn. If the board state gets kind of awkward and we're catching up as far as units, and we need to slow it down a little bit so they can play into more cards, then we can take our specials then. So what we usually do for the first couple turns would be to match their tempo and just play our units, our Defender, or Siri, and then maybe get the Kelly out there, for example, and then we start playing some specials so that they're forced to play units, and then that's when it really starts to kick in over the long round. And what's nice about this deck too is that in addition to having something that's going to be burning through their units, we have units that are going to keep getting better in value. So the Beast, at the end of your turn, if this unit is not the unit with the highest power in the battlefield, boost self by 2. So basically 2 points per turn every turn, because we can make sure that this will never be the tallest unit on the board, right? And then you got the Imperial Phantom. This card has an order, damage by 3, which is great and everything, but if we don't use the order, at the end of your turn, you can boost by 1. So we're getting the 2 plus the 1 of passive points per turn, plus whatever we're burning with the Kelly, right? And then we can move on to the Witch Apprentice Sabbath. So if we have 25 points on a row, at the end of your turn, boost self by 2. So we get another 2 point per turn engine. We're already at 5. And then we have the Wild Hunt Hounds here, Dominance. If we control the highest power unit, at the end of our turn, boost self by 1. So again, just too many engines that are boosting nonstop, right? And it just gets pretty wild. It gets out of control, and the opponent has a really hard time dealing with it. If the few units that we have on the playing field are engines, then you can just imagine how crazy it looks at the end of the game. So that's basically it. We have a thinning package with the old spear tip and the old spear tip asleep. So basically with this card here, after 3 turns, summon old spear tip from your deck to this row and increase its base power by 6, then banish self. If old spear tip takes damage, summon old spear tip from your deck, then banish self instead. So what this means is if they damage this card into red health, so 5 power or less, then this card just comes out at 12 power. If this card doesn't get touched for 3 turns, then it brings out this card, but it takes the 6 plus the 12, makes this 18 power, and then just gets rid of this from the game. So we have an 18 power unit sitting on the playing field, which helps with dominance, of course, right, for the hounds. It also helps increase the ceiling for the beast, and you know, stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons why I liked to have Wrath, because it really helps set up like tall control here. But again, sometimes you want to get rid of a scenario, so it's just the thing. When Ring of Favor gets nerfed, then the Wrath will probably go back in the 8 slot, because this will probably be too expensive to play in this deck after that. But for now, it just seems Ring of Favor is in the spot of the Wrath. So that's basically it. Big point slam there. Maybe previous versions would have had Osril as well if I wasn't running Witch's Sabbath, but the idea here is to bring back an 18-point carryover card, a Kelly, and an engine into another round. And that's just quite wild, isn't it? So all in the meanwhile, we're thinning our deck by doing this combo. Works quite well. We banish a unit or artifact, so scenario or just like a really tall unit. Siri Dash helps us flip the coin, so if we do go first, after 4 allied turns and turn end, draw a card. So automatically we're forcing them into a position where they have to now try and defend the coin. This will help us win on even, so that we can set up our board state and bleed around 2 and potentially 2-0 the opponent. So that's kind of the thing. You have to expect that when you play this, they're going to try and remove it with everything they have. So when you do play Siri, you want to make sure Defender's handy, or you want to make sure that you have boost cards in hand to keep Siri going. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. Leader charges aren't really great with Siri because they don't give her Veil, because she's not a monster, right? She's a Witcher. Like, pretty much opposite. So yeah, keep that in mind. Stratagem's really nice, the Crystal Skull, so that they can't lock it. If for whatever reason we don't skull, if we're on red coin and they do lock Siri, we do have a Peller in the deck. Something that I thought about in place of Pacts would have been the Mahakam Ale. I think that's completely fine. The thing is, the amount of time that I'm finding myself needing to either purify this or purify the old spear tip asleep, it's not enough to justify losing the 2 points out of the deck. But if you feel more comfortable with it, you can definitely go and you can put this in instead of the Pact. I say instead of the Pact because this card gives Doomed, whereas this one doesn't, and this is a little bit less safe to play in this deck because we don't want to start giving things Doomed on our own side of the playing field because we're bringing them back with Sabbath, right? That's kind of the idea. So that's kind of the whole play. Defender, plain and simple, keeps things safe beside it. Ring of Favor, just busted. It acts as a thin. At the end of your turn, basically increase the boost that this card's worth by 2. And then, you know, if they pass on us, this card's banished. We draw a card, vice versa. But if they don't pass, we could really abuse the coin with this, with a huge, like, 20-point easy boost later on in the round, right? We talked about a lot of the engines. In the deck that I played today, in the video, I have Dorregaray in the 6P slot. But I found after playing the 5 games, you know, even though we had a pretty good time, it just felt like in certain matchups there were more than one thing I wanted to banish. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say they have like an Erendite and they have a unit that we need to get rid of, right? Or they have a Magic Compass and another unit, right? Some decks are running multiple Echo cards we want to get rid of. This is a way to go about it, and I don't mind it too much in this space. I do think that this is the safer route. I do think that the Dorregaray could potentially be the smarter route, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to work out to being about the same. And I don't mind Xavier at all, because this will help us get the best value, the best maximum value off the Witch's Sabbath, right? Because let's say they've got a bunch of 8s and 10s in their graveyard. We're playing against Reckless Flurry or something like that. They've got great swords in the grave. Do we really want to bring back 3 great swords because they took a Megascope as well and give them 30 free points? Not really, right? So if we can put this card down and get rid of a couple of those, you could see the difference that it'll make. And maybe now, instead of bringing back 10 points for 3 cards, they're bringing back 5 points for 3 because we've gotten rid of the great swords, right? So just some food for thought with that there, right? This will deal with more than the Squirrel will in the Bronze End. But Squirrel Dorregaray is definitely an option too, right? Going forward, we talked about all the engines. I have Hideous Feast here. Basically damage an enemy by 3, boost an ally by 3, because there's a lot of control going around right now. It's a little bit more support to help our engines stick around and, you know, stay on the board, right? Also, it helps chip things down in the same way that Nilfgaard would have done before for the Keltullis to destroy them, right? So I like the little bit of damage, but not the full damage. We don't have to worry about taking something like this here for 4. You know, and sometimes it could be kind of awkward if we overkill something, we get a drone, you know, or even then, let's say it's a 5p engine anyways, and we only have 4 damage, we're still getting a 1-point Kelly that turn, so it's pretty safe to just go with the Feast instead. And plus we get the boost too, so you see how it's a little bit more points overall. Alternative to the natural selection would be like a Dimeridian Bomb, but again, 4 points just seems a little slow in the meta right now. That's basically it. So this has to be what we go with. I think Spores just makes sense. Reset the power of a unit, so we're not using a Heat Wave on a boosted token. We can just use a 4 provision card. I think that's fair. Pellar is our way of purifying anything that gets locked or getting around their defender so that we can go and we can Heat Wave something, right? So Pellar is like a necessity within this deck. And Drowner is something that I decided to put in when I made the swap from Dorregaray to Xavier. Squirrel had to go. It just didn't make sense to have both. And in the 4p slot, there weren't like a lot of things that I wanted to have. For monsters especially. Like, you could go Indriga Warrior and then just like have that to consume something and just have a little bit less, you know, units on the board. But more than often, what we're consuming are engines, and it just doesn't feel good. You can give something doomed, but I don't think it's important when we have Xavier. You could, I mean, that's it. Like, there aren't really many other cards that are going to help us out too much. Like, the only other option I would think of would be maybe like a Wide Punish with Forked Tail, or you can go for the Troll. If I can find it for the sake of time. The Troll that boosts self by 1, if we have fewer units, like that would be another option. But again, it just felt like I'd rather have a tech card on the spot. So this here basically gets a movement tech, and we can damage by 2. So if the opponent plays a row-locked card, let's say Syndicate, they play the Freak Show, we can push it back. If we're playing against Siege, we could take a Caraballista, we could push it forward. We're playing against Skellige Pirates, we could push back one of the longboats, or the other one we could push to the melee row, you know what I mean, right? If we're playing against Colgrim and our deck is really stuffed up because we don't have a lot of thinning, maybe we can push that defender out of the way, and so we could take our Heat Wave on the, you know, the Colgrim. So that just seemed like a good tech to me. It also has Thrive, which is kind of nice. It also does a little bit of damage, which is nice for the Kelly, so it just kind of makes sense. This is going to be the version that I do post. The other one's the one that I played within the video. There's really only 2 cards that I mentioned that are different, so it'll still be very easy for you guys to follow along. But that's pretty much it here. I'm including every game that I played, wins and losses combined, and I've got 5 games for you guys today. And I will be back with another video tomorrow, so have a look out for that. I'm working on a Syndicate Crimes deck, and I've really been working on it the last couple days to try and make it the best I can. It hasn't been where it needs to be, and honestly, I don't even think it's the deck. The deck looks really good. It should just win. The problem is it doesn't have the points that we need to have. It's got the control. That's not a problem, right? It's just not rolling out as fast as some of these other decks, and I'm putting in some of the cheat cards like Ring of Favor and stuff like that. It's just not, it's not where I need it to be. So that one's just another one where I deleted everything I was working on, and we're going to try again for the 3rd time later this week. But I got to get it right. I'm determined to get it right before the season ends. But for now, we're playing some Kelly. And if you guys enjoy the content that you see, don't forget to sub to the channel. If you want to support the channel and the stream, you can become a channel member. And I do have a new Patreon as well. So a couple options there. But that's pretty much it. All I got to say for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And have a good Friday. So we got Nilfgaard soldiers. Coincidence? I don't know. I just put out a soldiers deck yesterday, so we'll see what they're dealing with here. This could be interesting. Squirrel for maybe for like an Onero. Spores maybe for a ring. I think 2 of these can go. We want more engines, right? This, okay. We'll know pretty shortly, like, my version has muzzle. So if they're running something similar, they're probably contemplating that. It's also got 2 locks. If that's 1, maybe we take the second. But it's probably just getting this online first. What I do know from my trial games with soldiers have been, it's really sucked when we went up against, like, if we're Kelly against this, I think that this has an advantage over Kelly, is what I'm trying to say. Shouldn't have 5-point removal. The only thing I'm worried about would be the muzzle, but not enough to use leader here. So I'm going to wait and just try and take swallow next turn, or Pact next turn. There, we're getting like the heal value off this too. They take the boost, 20-point difference. To stay with it, I'm gonna give this doomed so they can't mess with it. I don't think they'll pass. Like, if I'm playing this and I've got the Blight Makers, like, I kind of want round win. This surprises me. Two and 4 off this, right? Brings us to 33. We gotta turn it into a win on even. So they should have Yen, Muzzle, Peller. That's going to be bad. Yen, Muzzle, Peller. This probably can go. This would be a good muzzle for them. So it's going to have to be Defender. Defender and Hope, I suppose. And we didn't give them anything for the Illusionists, so we're actually in a favorable spot right now. I think we're going to take this first and just see how they respond. And I'm going to say no leader. Play a special. If I have to, I'll take Swallow. But we're going to see a response to Defender right now if they have it. So it's probably going to be the Yen. Just so that they can do it. Yeah, they don't have it. The issue is running something like Hideous Feast against this, obviously. We're just going to be chipping the armor, but not much else. They gave me a pikeman. And what did they take? It wasn't Siri, it was Beast. I'm trying to think if there's like a way that we can just... You know, I think we're supposed to just engine. We just do 1 and 2, and then we've got the whole assembly line, right? And now they have their illusionist set up, so... Actually, here's a turn. Yeah, we get rid of the engine. So Truffle brings 2, this goes. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 5, I suppose. I'm not sure how we're supposed to take this next turn. They can't get through the defender. Okay, I think that's a pass. It will make them use Truffle, And they'll have to use, yeah, maybe leader. Take out the FN, 7 more points here. Then they lose a card. Then we get 4 boost. They get it. Yeah, they get it. Because the other engines. Okay, so this looks like the perfect hand. We bring back Defender, Kelly. You know, I actually should have put back Spear Tip. Yeah, should have put back Spear Tip. Whoops. Chances are they did draw what they need though, right? At this point. So this is like a huge problem for me. We just have to say, okay, we have card advantage, we've got Tome. You know? If I play Tome, it's gonna be for... That's 1 lock. So they played both locks. I kind of want them to try and do something with this. I think it's supposed to be Hideous Feast. You know, I should have actually hit this 8 instead of this 8 because they have, they've got ointment potentially, right? But then again, it's kind of bait. I think it's supposed to be a boost. If it's like a yen... Actually, did I take out Heat Wave? I think I took out Heat Wave. I think it's yen and muzzle. In my soldiers list. So they'd be going for probably yen. Unless that's in hand. Yeah, we already know. So they're gonna take out the yen. There it is. With the tome. Okay. And what do we have in deck? Spores. So we just don't play it. It's gotta be just taking a lock for no reason. Yeah, we don't need to take spores here. They're not going to be boosting. And the Peter. Yeah. Alright, so next we got Monsters, Overwhelming Hunger. So this could be a couple different things, right? This could be just like a classic Death Wish, but I have a strong feeling it's going to be some kind of meta breaker thing, you know? So we'll find out. Sports feels important round 1. Squirrel feels important round 1. Sabbath doesn't, because either they have one, but at the same time, if they don't, we can get it. So we'll pack something. Pact's just like good point slam. Maybe Feast is not. Of course we do that. Oh, this is classic. This is absolutely classic, for sure. Here. This brings me back. When I first started streaming, I had a deck that basically had this. So Dorregaray should solve Ruin. I remember I used to play this card back in the day, like late 2018, early 19, whenever it was, and if you locked that and you killed that, then it wouldn't come back. Because it's locked, yeah. I think we should be fine with it. And they just pass on it too. You guys are gonna say this game's rigged. I'm gonna have to play another game, but I'll include this anyways. They could still win, right? Like, I don't know. This is pro ladder, so. I think they're gonna try and do it all again. We do go first though. I'm just gonna squirrel it. Here, we'll put that back. We'll put that back. And at this point, I think spores can go. First and foremost here, we'll take it. Just because I've seen this one before, you know? Okay. We should be free to just do some things. We don't know if they're devotion just yet. Maybe it's supposed to be this. So we could actually pull off Siri, right? Do these two. If they use it, like, we've got options, I suppose. Heat wave. Check this out, though. Like, this is sweet. Just take a pact on its same turn. That's kind of clever, though, if you think about it. But we still get something good here. It's gotta be just a boost. But we don't want to play into Mana Core, so maybe we just take a Hideous Feast. You know what? Like, I am pushing it, so if they do go ahead, take Mana Core here, use Leader, that's fine. Because we could bring this all back anyways.
I do not mince words on principle.
Let's get this online here. Let's take a boost. If they lock it, we can't purify it. We might as well make it count, right? So we'll just boost it up nice and tall. And get the most value from it. We could put down the pig. We could put down the hound. That's kind of cool. Here.
They're surprisingly clean creatures, as it happens.
Maybe they're running Truffle and like their Haunt they want to flip. I don't think they have scopes. Maybe they have Doldulok. I think we still just keep plugging, don't we? They'll take it if I play this without playing this. Okay. It's gotta be just something like this at this point. Yeah, we got it. And we got Reckless Flurry coming up here next. I wonder how we're supposed to deal. Like, do I ever just round one Kelly jam? You know? Let's see here. This probably dies. But we do need to have 3 monsters. Well, we have time to get that. I just think that that has to go. You know, I'm convinced. I'm convinced I'm supposed to take Kelly, but we'll see. Maybe we just keep it light. Yeah. Force removal out of something like this, and then play Kelly. We can go Tome into like a Spear Tip, and then we can just bring it all back. Unless I take a Defender right now, you know? Actually, yeah. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Because in order to get through this Defender, they're taking Junned, right? And we've got the specials we need. So we've got the Oniro access, we've got the Witch's Sabbath, so we're pretty well equipped, you know? Even if they don't click and do us all a favor, we're fine. And we just jam Kelly here and that's it. Now the worst part would be if they had a Purify. And also, if they were able to reach for like a heat wave with that, that could be pretty bad too. Nope. Oh, it would have been so nice if they just transformed that, you know, before they sent it over. So verification placed for 0 points. We'll be alright. That's a big swing though. We'll take a 4 while we can, just because they haven't done anything yet. And then right here we'll go and we'll just take a boost, I suppose. Once they click their leader, it gets worse. That's not a big deal. That's kind of aggressive. $47, you know, it's not even that bad. If I go for something like this, it actually starts making our Kelly better faster, you know? That's going to be the heat wave, isn't it? They let that go. +2 is 41, -4. We're just good. Wait. +2? No, there's no more vitality. Okay. -4 +2. Ah, so they did catch me on it. Right, we're not crazy. We got -4, 41, +2. Yeah. I think we're supposed to mess with them a little bit here, though. Yeah, we'll do it here. As long as they don't hit that defender, we're fine. Good. Good. This gets value. I think we leave it. Wait, 4? Actually, it's just that.
Who wants to taste Skellige steel?
See what you're doing. Wait.
Your descendants, my beloved. Sacrifices for Melusine, one and all.
What I noticed though is that they already spent compass. Like I really know they're trying to get through this defender and everything with the Junid, but I got plans, you know?
What are you gonna do, huh?
That's the Junid they're looking for. We'll take Hideous Feast. Actually, 5's the lowest. Then it's actually gonna be a self-spores. Believe it. Because I want this to die. Okay. We could have guaranteed it, but you know what I mean. Like if I took it, sure, but... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4... Do we pass? No, we do. We pass. Sick. That was that was a good game. Wow.
The quill is mightier than the sword.
All right, so we got Mill probably. It's not even. That's not even that bad, yeah. We just need this. We need Kelly. Here, I'm gonna take a risk. Okay. Yeah. Like, it's bad, but we have functioning pieces. That's all. Like, realistically, these two, round 1, I think it's just like automatic win. Actually, now it's not what I thought it was. Here. We're just gonna cram it. Yeah, 100%. Kelly down, Beast down, Prentice down, and just let it work, I suppose. Like, when I see stuffing, I know they're not milling, so I'm feeling good. I was worried. Here. Couple specials in between as well. If they have yen or something like that, they can pull it, right? If we see a Purify come down, we know it's a bad situation. If we don't, we think we're pretty good, I think at that point. Yeah, we'll be alright.
Never get my rhymes out of your
I think they were looking for the snowdrop to get the points going, you know? It actually helps me out quite a bit too with the beast ceiling. And they're okay, they use leader anyways.
My men know the meaning of sacrifice.
It should shoot out some 2s and stuff, which is not great, but if it doesn't...
Snap and done.
Yeah. See, it kind of slows down the engine a little bit, but I think that's fine.
Got ya! You bleating son of a dope!
Okay. 17. 21. I think I have to take a turn of this. At least we'll start chewing into some of the good stuff, right? 3, then 5, or a little bit 6 at that point. We gotta get down the pig as soon as possible, though. The 4 points per turn plus the 2 or more could just be huge.
How am I to catch it, master? It sees me every time.
Yeah, we can't stop here.
Pigs fly, eh?
And the best part is, even if they're clogging, I have a lot of the main stuff, you know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. It gets rid of yeah. There. I'm gonna keep spear tip for now. I have a feeling that they're gonna double GN, but they might not, right? Maybe they don't. Maybe because they have so few cards at this point. Here. We need a lot. We need 1, 2, 3. There's quite a bit. Maybe we take the long round. That's not a huge deal. Like, Kelly, we got it once. That's fine. We've got an even 3 there. And if we're pulling back 3, we'll get 6. 6. 6. Okay. This can probably go. This can go as well. I need Purify. Like, that's the huge thing. Okay. So we're just gonna have to fight a Colgrim, basically. Maybe we pull it. It'd be really cool if, like, I somehow got Arcane Tome.
Praise be to the great sun!
I like it. A witch's best friend is a
We don't even care if they banish stuff from our grave at this point. We gotta get the Sabbath turned on quick. Okay. There we go. Just 5 points per turn's massive. Then we can put down Siri so we can plan ahead.
I live
That's what we're gonna pull, right? Yeah. It's kind of annoying. I mean, I don't mind a defender. Especially because they can't give it bleeding too. It's like not really doing much for them. Maybe they... Oh, no, they probably haven't. Doesn't matter how tall we go.
Yield and save me some time.
To do business with you is ever a pleasure.
You best yield now.
Okay. Nothing yet. Maybe I'm just looking at this the wrong way. Maybe it's actually not Colgrim. I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to take my tallest unit first, just in case. Can we hit 50 points? Oh, it is Colgrim. Here, I was actually worried that they had a defender. .50 piggy, let's go.
The gate must be
Alright, so we got Blaze of Glory coming up here next. And, whoops. I meant to put Crystal Skull as a stratagem, actually. I mean, it's not that important, just for the series. Put away Spores in this matchup, I think. This is good for Blood Eagle. Actually, it's probably just, it's probably one of the packs that goes away. Take Siri, I think. They're gonna look for the Warlords to play.
Come on! Show us what you got!
Yeah. So we'll do this while we have a chance.
You talked enough.
Because nothing's playing for 10. They take another one. It's gonna be hard. You know that they could probably use their leader if they really wanted to. We'll try and play around that just a little bit here with the 13. You know, it's probably going to be Arcane. Just because we really got to hike this up. Right, we'll take another pack because we like to save the swallows for monsters. Just keep it out of that removal. This way, if they go ahead and decide to iced, then, actually...
No retreat, not one step.
May Freya choose.
They can use Arcane. They can take a raid. Do we care, though? No, we don't care. I think I'm supposed to heatwave the Jetta though.
We'll feed if we will. But fire in
And we just pass on that. The nice part too is that they're spending a lot of these raid cards, you see? So, there's these three, the Blood Eagle, right? They don't get a second Blood Eagle, so maybe they have, like, one more of these, couple of the other resurrections from the, clans. I don't think it was supposed to be leader, like in round 1 like that, but I'm not complaining. I don't think that they're running Turg V, but they might be, right? So this is kind of important, but we do have leader to play around it a little bit. Spore's horrible. They should just play, right? That's gonna be a lock for sure. Now the real question is, do I continue to play? Like, yeah, I think I do. I think we have to keep it like that, otherwise we just lose card. We got a defend card. Yeah. Let's get this going here. They should just try and play down to nothing here. I don't even mind if they take that out. It would suck, but... You know, I could literally just go for defender, though. And that's not even a bad feeling. Yeah, we get huge swings. So we're going to get the 18, 7, and... Okay, the 3. And they'll get these two. These two and iced. That's kind of gross. Back one of those. I mean, it is what it is, right? Okay, that's better. That's actually better. It's not like they're going to be able to proc this. I don't think that they're running discard package because they got Blood Eagle. That's got to be Fukusha. Into that. I mean, they're taking this out, aren't they? Here, let's just boost it like crazy. Let's get Kelly going. It'll take them probably 2 turns to get through that. If they can. Like, we have ways to keep it going, right? They actually pull it off. I'm actually disappointed, but it's fine. Okay. 2 points per turn is better than 1 point per turn.
No doubt.
Over my dead and cold body.
We'll keep the contrast. It's going to be one of those. Hopefully the rain doesn't tick it, right? We want to... There we go. They pulled it off. It took a lot. Like, the defender was standing strong. If they somehow, for whatever reason, run a Junid, then we could lose, right? But I don't think that synergizes very well with what they're doing. So we should just take it away here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 5. I mean, yeah, I guess. They'll probably destroy something anyways. So they have Turgvi. That's a lose condition.
Look closely, kiddos, on thy courageous mother.
1 point.